अन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं स अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविष्णुपदाश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। हरे कृष्ण। नाना शास्त्रं विचारनैकनिपुनो सद्धर्म संस्थापको लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने नान्यो शरण्याकरो। Just a second, sorry. राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्द भजना नन्दे नमत्कालिको वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको। हरे कृष्ण। Welcome. We are studying Nectar of Devotion. We are at chapter 1, the characteristics of pure devotional service. These are general characteristics of pure devotional service. So we discussed the first quality, which is uh, kleshagni, which means relief from material distress. So we discussed that in detail, quite much detail, right? Um, did we also read from the book that much section, kleshagni? We
Yes,
read.
Prabhuji.
We read. Now the next section is Shubhada, right? We are supposed to discuss Shubhada. Shubha Da. Da means to give, Dadati, giver, Shubhada. And Shubha means auspiciousness. So Shubhada means it brings or it gives auspiciousness to our life. What? Pure devotional service. It brings auspiciousness to our life. All right. Huh? So we have our own understanding of auspiciousness, isn't it? People generally in their house they have a painting or a picture or um, deity of Ganesha at the door, entrance door, and there it is written Shubh Labh, get auspiciousness, gain auspiciousness. So people have their own understanding of auspiciousness. If I get money in my life, that's auspiciousness. If I get fame and name in my life, that's auspiciousness. If I get material happiness in my life, that is auspiciousness. So people have their own understanding of auspiciousness. But then Rupa Goswami, he says, what is auspiciousness? So he tells that something is auspicious. Something is auspicious when it has four uh, things that it fulfills, four conditions when it fulfills, then it is auspicious. Something is auspicious when it fulfills four conditions. What are those four conditions? First, it benefits everyone. It benefits everyone. That is auspicious. Okay. So if I become rich, will it benefit everyone? No. So it's not auspiciousness, right? So first he says it benefits everyone. That's first thing. Hmm? Second, if it is auspicious, it is going to attract everyone. There is no one who will not be attracted to it. You know, if it is auspicious, it will attract everyone. Hmm? So does wealth attract everyone? No, there are many people in this world who do not want wealth, right? Hmm? Then third, it produces good qualities. It is auspicious only if it produces. So does wealth always produce good qualities? Rather, on the contrary, it is seen that once one becomes wealthy, then that person loses good qualities, right? Hmm? And then fourth one, it bestows a higher level of happiness. Understood? Hmm? So Rupa Goswami says that this is what makes something truly auspicious. Shubha. Four things, huh? Four things.
This higher level of happiness is also for everyone.
Yeah, of course. It is for you, the experiencer. And it is, if it is for everyone, that means everyone should experience it, right? So Shubhada means anything truly auspicious, it has these four characteristics. Okay? So these two qualities, which is relief from all miseries, and second is all auspiciousness. When does a sadhaka experience it incomplete? The
At
sadhaka
the beginning,
experiences no,
stage only.
no.
How about the
Don't listen. You don't listen properly. I said, when does the sadhaka experience it completely? In the beginning stage, it begins. It begins. In the beginning stage, it begins. The sadhaka experiences it completely at the stage of nishtha. So, is bhakti beneficial for everyone?
Yes.
no?
Yes. Yes. Right? Does bhakti attract everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
It attracts. It has the capacity to attract. Mhm. Right? Uh, does bhakti produce good qualities?
Yes. Automatically.
And does bhakti give a higher level of happiness?
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
So then he says, therefore, only bhakti is auspicious. Because bhakti can give all four.
Prabhuji, the second one attracts everyone. It is not suits Napo because many people are not attracted to bhakti.
They're not attracted now, no? Someday they'll get attracted.
Hmm.
Therefore, it has the capacity to attract everyone. Okay? Hmm? So, considering this, this definition of all auspiciousness or what is Shubha, we can say that the activities done by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada are auspicious. Why? Because what he did benefits everyone, attracts everyone, right? Produces good qualities in everyone, and gives a higher level of happiness to everyone. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada of, often said, the best gift or charity you can make to someone is to give that person devotional service. Right? The best gift or charity you can make to someone is to give devotional service. Because only devotional service can bring pure auspiciousness, true auspiciousness, nothing else. Nothing else can bring. All right, now we'll read how Srila Prabhupada explains each of these four parts of auspiciousness. First is it benefits everyone, and second is it attracts everyone. That is first example. Hmm? Uh, let's read. Srila Rup Goswami has given a definition of auspiciousness. He says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. At the present moment, groups of people are engaged in welfare activities in terms of society, community, or nation. There is even an attempt in the form of the United Nations for World Health Activity. But due to the shortcomings of limited national activities, such a general mass welfare program for the whole world is not practically possible. The Krishna consciousness movement, however, is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement and everyone can feel the result. Therefore, Rup Goswami and other learned scholars agree that a broad propaganda program for the Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare. So this is the highest service we can do for society. Many people, they like to serve the society and they spend so much of money, and that's not bad. But then this this is the highest service that can be done. Highest service that can be done.
Where this is, Prabhu?
What?
Paragraph where it is, Prabhu?
See, you find in your book Krishna consciousness is all auspicious, chapter 1. Hmm. I was
Yeah.
I was watching a video. There is in I think it's in Jamnagar. There is a animal uh, sanctuary for those who are sick animals, or those animals who are getting extinct. So the son of Dhirubhai Ambani, what's his name? Uh, Anant
Anant
Ambani.
Ambani.
Yeah.
Anant Ambani.
Akasham.
So he's leading that initiative. What is that called? Have you seen that video?
Vantara.
Vanta.
Vantara, right? So it's a good initiative, very nice initiative. But then the amount of Lakshmi they are spending on that initiative, will it ever cross their mind that they should spend the same amount of Lakshmi in spreading Krishna consciousness?
No, it will not come to your mind.
It will not come to their mind. It will not come. Why? Because they think that doing something like Vantara is more auspicious than spreading Krishna consciousness, or more beneficial, right? So just doing an activity is not important. What is your consciousness behind? What are you doing? People say, oh, they're doing such a nice work. Yeah, they're doing very nice work. But then they're not doing the best thing. It's not the best thing to be done. It's not the best thing to be done. It's not going to produce auspiciousness for everyone, for at all times. It will produce some benefit, temporary benefit. So this is a big problem for those who do social welfare activity, to understand the benefit of Krishna consciousness. Why? Because by doing some samaj seva, they get a sense of um pride. You see, we are doing something for the society. We are nice people. We are good people. We do so much for the society. We are helping this. We are helping the animals. We are helping the poor people. We are helping the uneducated. We are helping this. We are helping that. And then that brings a certain kind of ahankar, which doesn't let you appreciate the value of pure devotional service. What is pure devotional service? Mhm. So we should know that this activity of practicing pure devotional service, and if possible, sharing pure devotional service, that is the highest possible activity that one can do. And that is the most pleasing activity for Krishna or his pure devotees. Hmm? So that's why it is being explained here. Prabhupada said how this Krishna consciousness movement is the highest welfare activity for everyone. Next paragraph. Ashoka Nature Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. How the Krishna consciousness movement can attract the attention of the whole world, and how each and every man can feel pleasure in this Krishna consciousness is stated in the Padam Purana as follows. A person who is engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness be under, is to understand to be doing the best service to the whole world and to be pleasing everyone in the world. In addition to human society, he is pleasing even the trees and animals because they are also attracted by such a moment. A practical example of this was shown by Lord Chaitanya when he was traveling through the forest of Jharikhanda in the central India for spreading his Sankirtan movement. The tigers, elephants, the deers, and all the other wild animals joined him and were participating in their own ways by dancing, chanting Hare Krishna. Furthermore, a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, acting in devotional service, can help all the good qualities that are generally found in the demigods. It is said by Sukdev Goswami in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, verse 12. My dear king, persons who have unflinching faith in Krishna and are without any duplicity can develop all the good qualities of the demigods. On account of a devotee's high grade of Krishna consciousness, even the demigods like to live with him, and therefore it can be understood that the qualities of the demigods have developed within his body. On the other hand, a person who is not in Krishna consciousness has no good qualities. He may be highly educated from the academic point of view, but in the actual field of his activities, he can be seen to be baser than the animals. Even though a person is highly educated academically, if he cannot go beyond the sphere of mental activities, then he is sure to perform only material activities and thus remain impure. There are so many persons in the modern world who have been highly educated in the materialistic universities, but it is seen that they cannot take up the moment of Krishna consciousness and develop the high qualities of the demigods. For example, a Krishna conscious boy, even if he is not very well educated by the university standard, can immediately give up all illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication, whereas those who are not in Krishna consciousness, although very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat eaters, sex mongers, and gamblers. These are practical proofs of how a Krishna conscious person becomes highly developed in good qualities, whereas a person who is not in Krishna consciousness cannot do so. We experience that even a young boy in Krishna consciousness is unattached to cinemas, nightclubs, naked dance shows, restaurants, liquor shops, etc. He becomes completely freed. He saves his valuable time from being extravagantly spent in the way of smoking, drinking, attending the theater, and dancing. One who is not in Krishna consciousness usually cannot sit silently even for half an hour. The yoga system teaches that if you become silent, you will realize that you are God. This system may be all right for materialistic persons, but how long will they be able to keep themselves silent? Artificially, they may sit down for so called meditation, but immediately after their yogic performance, they will engage themselves again in such activities as illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and many other nonsensical things. But a Krishna conscious person gradually elevates himself without endeavoring for this so called silent meditation. Simply because he is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he automatically gives up all this nonsense and develops a high character. One develops the highest character by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that no one can truly have any good qualities if he is lacking Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So here, Srila Prabhupada explains how Krishna consciousness bestows all good qualities. That is explained, right? Hmm? And mm, mm, then he explains how some people, we know that, we have heard and read that many times. People may be very educated academically, but still they may not have good qualities. That is very well known. Hmm? Mm. All right. So now, when it comes to superior happiness, it is explained that there are three types of happiness. One is happiness that comes from um, sense gratification. The other is happiness that comes from liberation, which is Brahman realization. And the third is the happiness which comes from devotional service. So this happiness coming from devotional service is the highest happiness. Hmm. In fact, it is stated in many places in the scriptures that when you engage in devotional service, you also get the happiness of sense gratification. You also get the happiness of liberation. Plus, you get the happiness of devotional service. Mhm. So, devotional service brings all kinds of happiness. It includes the other happiness also, right? That is how we understand. Okay, next. Next topic. Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Neha Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Happiness and Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are: first, happiness derived from material enjoyment; second, happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman; and third, happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. In the Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva speaks to his wife Sati in this way: My dear wife, a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has thus developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalist, and beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by the pure devotees. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness, and there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived out of identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman. It has been seen that great Mayavadi impersonalist sannyasis, very highly educated and almost realized souls, may sometimes take to political activities or to social welfare activities. The reason is that they usually do not derive any ultimate transcendental happiness in the impersonal understanding and therefore must come down to the material platform and take to such mundane affairs. There are many instances, especially in India, where these Mayavadi sannyasis descend to the material platform again. But a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness will never return to any sort of material platform. However alluring and attracting they may be, he always knows that no material welfare activities can compare to the spiritual activity of Krishna consciousness. The mystic perfections achieved by actually successful yogis are 8 in number. Anima Siddhi refers to the power by which one can become so small that he can enter into a stone. Modern scientific improvements also enable us to enter into stone because they provide for excavating so many subways, penetrating the hills, etc. So Anima Siddhi, the mystic perfection of trying to enter into stone, has also been achieved by material science. Similarly, all of the yoga siddhis or perfections are material arts. For example, in one yoga siddhi, there is development of the power to become so light that one can float in the air or on water. That is also being performed by modern scientists. They are flying in the air, they are floating on the surface of the water, and they are traveling under the water. After comparing all these mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfections, we find that the materialistic scientists try for the same perfections. So actually, there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. A German scholar once said that the so-called yoga perfections had already been achieved by the modern scientists, and so he was not concerned with them. he intelligently went to India to learn how he could understand his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord by means of Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. Of course, in the categories of mystic perfection, there are certain processes which the material scientists have not yet been able to develop. For instance, a mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called Laghima. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. Though the modern astronauts go to the moon with the help of spaceships, they undergo many difficulties. Whereas a person with mystic perfection can extend his hand and touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti or acquisition. With this prapti siddhi, not only can the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place, and if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. This is prapti siddhi. The modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons with which they can destroy an insignificant part of this planet. But by the yoga siddhi known as Ishita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. Another perfection is called Vashita, and by this perfection, one can bring anyone under his control. This is a kind of hypnotism which is almost irresistible. Sometimes it is found that a yogi who may have attained a little perfection in this Vashita mystic power comes out among the people and speaks all sorts of nonsense, controls their minds, exploits them, takes their money, and then goes away. There is another mystic perfection which is known as prakamya or magic. By this prakamya power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eye and then again come out from within the eye. Simply by his will, he can perform such wonderful activities. The highest perfection of mystic power is called Kama Vasaita. This is also magic. But whereas the Prakamya power acts to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, Kama Vasaita permits one to contradict nature. In other words, to do the impossible. Of course, one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfections. Foolishly, people who are enamored by the glimmer of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that the Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent men. I am better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family, and sex life. These people do not know that at any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. Due to ignorance, they do not know that real life is eternal. The temporary comforts of the body are not the goal of life, and it is due only to darkest ignorance that people become enamored of the glimmering advancement of material comforts. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore said that the advancement of material knowledge renders a person more foolish because it causes one to forget his real identity by its glimmer. This is doom for him because this human form of life is meant for getting out of material contamination. By the advancement of material knowledge, people are becoming more and more entangled in material existence. They have no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe. In the Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, it is stated that Prahlad Maharaj, a great devotee of the Lord, prayed to Narasimha Dev, the half lion, half man incarnation, as follows. My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one man can have all the other perfections of religiousness, that with it one can have all the perfections, all the other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Shamala Hariprada Mataji.
Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. Actually, a pure devotee after any of perfections because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so no other happiness compare to it. It is said that of happiness in consciousness stands behind comparison with ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who even a little quantity of devotion very easily very easily kick up all other derived from religiousness, economic development, education, and there was a great devotee of known as Sridhara was a very he was doing a selling cups made from the leaves of pla- plantain trees, and his income was almost nothing. Still, he was spending 50% of his small income on the worship of the Ganges, and with the other 50% he was somehow living. Lord Chaitanya once revealed himself to this confidential devotee, Kolavesha Sridhara, and offered him any opulence he liked. But Sridhara informed the Lord that he did not want any material opulence. He was quite happy in his present position and wanted only to gain unflinching faith and devotion onto the lotus feet of the Lord Chaitanya. That is the position of pure devotees. If they can be engaged 24 hours each day in devotional service, they do not want anything else, not even the happiness of liberation or of becoming one with the Supreme. In the Pancharatta, it is said that any person, when a small amount of devotional service, does not care a fig for any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or the five kinds of liberation. Any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, liberation, or sense gratification cannot even dare to enter into the heart of a pure devotee. It is stated that as the personal attendants and maid servants of a queen follow the queen with all respect and obeisances. Similarly, the joys of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kindness derived from he does not want anything but Krishna. But even if he should have any desire, this without the king.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So here it's explained in this section um, how the happiness in devotional service is supreme most. See, Prabhupada talked about the different types of siddhis. What does these siddhis do? They make you feel special, right? They make you feel special. That I am very special. I can do something that others cannot do, huh? Right? So then that gives you a sense of happiness. Hmm. So Prabhupada says nowadays a lot of wonderful things are being done because of material scientific advancement. And that gives some kind of happiness to people. Right? You understand? Mhm. So that happiness is very alluring in nature because you think, oh, I have done something so wonderful. We'll see, everyone is appreciating it. Siddhi means what? You are trying to get the attention of people because you can do something that no one can do. That is a siddhi. So do we want siddhi? No. Do you seek attention?
We do, but we should not.
Do we seek attention?
Yes, we do, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we seek attention. So that means we want siddhi. Right? We want siddhi. Maybe we don't want the siddhi which is explained here. Kama vasaita. and all Prapti Siddhi and all that Siddhi. Maybe we don't want those Siddhis. But we do want some kind of Siddhi because we do want attention. What kind of Siddhi we may want? I want to become the best Kirtaniya. I want to become the best speaker. I want to become the best book distributor. I want to become the best temple president. I want to become the best preacher. I want to become the best XYZ, best this, best that. Hmm. So that is also a siddhi, right? Yeah. So that gives some pleasure, some sense of happiness. I'm the best. Yeah. So this is also wrong. Fine. So what is being explained? That happiness is something, but that happiness is negligible compared to the happiness obtained by pure devotional service. That is negligible compared to the happiness obtained by pure devotional service. Right? That is negligible. That is being explained here. So all those kinds of happinesses are there. And to give an example how such happiness is negligible, a very beautiful example is given here of Kolavacha Sridhar. Kolavacha Sridhar was uh, materially not that rich, though he was very rich because he used to get to serve Lord Chaitanya every day, have wonderful pastime with Lord Chaitanya every day, Nimai. But then materially he was not rich. Huh? So during Mahaprakash Leela, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that time he was bestowing blessings upon everyone. So that time he asked Kolavacha Sridhar, what do you want? Tell me. Do you want something? Do you want something better? What did he say? Kolavacha Sridhar? What did he say?
No, I will be happy in interacting with you as I am doing it now.
He said, what I have in my life, this is the best. I don't want anything more. This is best for me. This is best for me. I don't want anything. This is best. What is best? I'm getting a chance to do pure devotional service for you. That's best. That's highest happiness. He didn't want anything else. He didn't say, no, remove my problem, give me more money, give me more customers, you know, give me this, give me that. No, he said, I'm happy. I'm most happy. Right? Hmm? So this is to show how those who are pure devotees or practicing pure devotees, they don't want any such other happiness, even if there is an allurement given for that happiness. See, for us, we may say, I don't want this, I don't want that. But when Krishna will give it to you, will you say no? Then you say, Krishna ka prasad, it's mercy of Krishna, I should accept it. It's Krishna's mercy. Krishna is giving me, I should accept it. Right. Then we'll say that. Now we say, I don't want. Krishna is not giving you only. So even if you don't want, you're not going to get it. Right? But then when Krishna will personally come and Krishna will say, you did so much bhakti for me. Take little name and fame. Yeah? Take little this material happiness. Take some comfort, some liberation I'll give you. Take all that. You have done so many years of chanting of Hare Krishna. Such pure devotion service you have done for me. Take this in return. Then will we say no to Krishna. I don't want. So those who are experiencing pure devotional service, they will tell Krishna, why are you cheating me? Why are you cheating me? Why are you giving me so less? Actually, you should, this is less. No, if you give me some money, that is less. If you give me liberation, that is also very less. Don't cheat me. Don't bluff me. Don't try to cheat me. Right? I only want devotional service, pure devotional service from you. So this is explained here that for a person practicing pure devotional service, that person will never uh, do a deal of devotional service for something. devotional service for something. That person will never do such a deal. Person practicing pure devotional service will never do such a deal. Right? Okay. Huh? So it's very nicely explained here how the happiness obtained from uh, uh, happiness obtained from um, pure devotional service is so high that one who is experiencing it will easily give up other kinds of happiness. One who is experiencing pure devotional service will easily give up other kinds of happiness. Okay. Next, the rareness of pure devotional service, which is sudurlabha, right? Sudurlabha. It's rare. Pure devotional service is rare. Which pure devotional service is rare? Hmm?
Anavratama Gyan and Karmadya.
No.
Prema
Bhava,
Bhakti.
Bhava Bhakti is rare.
Bhava
Bhava Bhakti is rare. Right? Sadhana Bhakti is rare, but not that rare. But Bhava Bhakti is very rare. It's very rare. Bhava Bhakti is very rare. Right? Why Bhava Bhakti is rare? Why Bhava Bhakti is rare?
Our efforts are insufficient, Prabhuji, I think, in that. We have to make a lot of effort and we are not able to do even sadhana bhakti well.
Why Bhava Bhakti is rare?
Because very few people are able to attain this material world. Is it so? No.
That is true. But then that makes devotional service also rare. No, even if you are doing sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti is rare.
Because Krishna, Lord Krishna doesn't want to give it to us. Because
So two reasons. First reason is because when sadhana is done without asakti, bhava will not come. So one can do sadhana for long time. Long time. Long time is many lifetimes. So one can do sadhana for many lifetimes for long time. But if it is not done with asakti, it will not develop bhava bhakti. So first of all, it is rare because of that condition. And second, now you may say, I have asakti, I am doing sadhana, so I will get bhava bhakti. Even if you do perfectly, Krishna will still not give it. Krishna still takes time to give it.
Both the reasons can you explain? First one is sadhana bhakti, if we do for a long time, unless and until we do without asakti, it will not come.
Yeah.
But
The second is
normally a
second is
sadhana bhakta tries to attain asakti, no. We can say getting asakti is very difficult here
yeah, it is difficult.
because every sadhaka wants to attain that stage, that is asakti he wants to achieve. So we mean that even though we do sadhana bhakti for a long time, achievement of asakti is difficult.
Yes, because one may do sadhana in a mechanical manner.
But when we do this Bhava Bhakti, when Sakti also comes, still Krishna is reluctant to give that Bhava Bhakti. Why? Any reason for that?
Yeah, still Krishna does not give. Still Krishna may not give. Or Krishna may not give immediately.
And it must be there is some other thing also which Krishna wants the devotee to develop when he can give Bhava Bhakti. Is there any reason that kind of also?
There is no reason. Krishna's free will, sweet will, his ichha, his desire.
Radha Rani can give.
Again, my question in another form, Prabhuji. Suppose 10 bhaktas are doing that bhakti, pure bhakti they are doing. Out of 10, if Krishna will give to one or two, what Krishna would see in that? Because it is rare, he will give to very, very few people. Suppose 10 people are doing pure devotional service and Krishna wants to give bhakti to only one or two. On what basis he will choose?
Uh, on what basis he will choose, that he is independent to decide.
Okay, that is.
He is independent to decide. But from a sadhaka's end, one can attract that mercy by lolya or greed for it. Hmm? But
Yeah,
on what basis Krishna will choose? Krishna is independent to decide that. There is no condition on Krishna.
understood. Thank you.
So that's it, Sudurlabha. Very rarely attained. Now, sometimes we say rarely attained has two meanings. What is one meaning? One is out of millions and millions and millions and millions, one will get it. That is called rare. Correct? There's another meaning of rare. What is that? Though you are trying for it again and again and again and again and again, still Krishna may not give.
Why so? It's testing or
Prabhuji,
It
from
is,
what
it
you're
is,
saying,
it
it means,
is, it is Iswa Ichha, personal will.
so this means that because, as you said, it's because of the lolium, so which means our intensity of wanting it is not intense enough.
And it is not intense enough. Or Krishna is just not ready to give it to you.
So we go via Srimati Radharani.
You go via Shrimati Radharani, yes. You go via anyone else. But at the same time, only when Krishna will decide that you should get it, you will get it. That means what? A devotee has to have a lot of dhairya, patience. The devotee will have to have a lot of patience. That one day Krishna will give. Someday Krishna will give. In some lifetime Krishna will give. But Krishna will give. That hope has to be there. And Krishna wants that hope in the sadhaka. Before that greed develops, before that sincere desire develops, and Krishna's mercy and unfolds in the heart of the sadhaka, one will not come to Bhava Bhakti. And that Bhava, yes, can be obtained by mercy of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and even some other devotee of Krishna, it is possible. But it is explained that obtaining bhava by mercy is a very rare concept. So that's called sudurlabha. Very, very rare. Very rare. Bhava bhakti is rare. Because bhava purchases Krishna. Mm. Therefore, just chant Hare Krishna and go back home back to Godhead. Not that easy. Not that easy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadhana. What what about the mercy of our Guru Gurudev in
Guru is Guru independent of Krishna?
no
Is
no
Guru independent of Krishna?
no. But we cannot see Krishna in any case. We whatever we know through our spiritual master only Gurudev only.
That's what I'm saying. But is Guru independent of Krishna?
No, is the
No,
representative of
no,
Krishna.
it's not that Guru is independent of Krishna. So if the Guru decides, okay, this disciple of mine should go back or back to Godhead, it's not going to happen like that.
Prabhuji, how much pleasure we feel when somebody asks us, where do you want to go? Everybody says, I want to go to Golok Vrindavan, unmindful of the fact that it may take hundreds of years, millions of lifetimes also.
Yeah, that is true. Though you know it may take a long time, but still that should be your desire.
Prabhuji, even our spiritual masters, they always call themselves Adham, sinful, and they always ask us, bless me also. I am also like one of you only. So what about them, Prabhuji? I'm really they also you bless this Adham soul, maybe आपकी जैसा हूँ. Always they tell us also. So I was wondering why we should bless
Because
him because he's much higher than
because because that is the because as you make progress in Krishna consciousness, you begin to understand that uh, you are nothing. You are very insignificant, right? You're very insignificant. You begin to understand that as you make progress in Krishna consciousness. And as you make progress in Krishna consciousness, you also begin to understand that to attain perfection in Krishna consciousness is not a joke. It's not a child's play. But the thing is that those who are those who are um, those who are actually making progress in Krishna consciousness, though they understand that it is difficult to get perfection in Krishna consciousness, it's difficult to become free from all anathas, it's difficult to come to the level of bhava bhakti, but because they are already tasting a great amount of happiness, they will never give up the path of Krishna consciousness. Fine. So what they do? They wait. They wait. Okay, whenever Krishna will give, let Krishna give. I'll wait. I'll wait for Krishna's mercy. I'll wait for Krishna's mercy. And therefore it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, those who thus wait for Krishna's mercy and continue to, with complete hope, enthusiasm, patience, render pure devotional service for Krishna's pleasure, then one day they become qualified to get the mercy of Krishna. So one day they become qualified to get the mercy of Krishna.
Yeah, attitude, in other words, should be that we don't hanker for bhava, we don't hanker for prema, we just focus on the chanting and on the seva, and then whatever Krishna decides.
No, you hanker for it, but you can't demand it.
No, of course, I mean, we can't demand it. So,
So you hanker for it. There is a greed for it, but you don't demand it.
mm, right.
Right? You don't demand, you hanker. There's an internal cry for it, but you don't demand it to Krishna. It is not something which you show outside. It's an internal cry. It's an internal thing, but you don't demand it from Krishna. You don't make it very cheap, because it's rare, it's special, it's very valuable. It's very valuable, and you don't even tell people, I am praying for Bhava Bhakti. You don't tell people, you know, because it is rare. It's very rare. So you keep it inside your heart, hidden, a hidden desire, a hidden but very strong desire, right? It's very strong, at the same time it is hidden. You don't make it cheap. When you reveal it, what happens? It becomes cheap, right?
That way, if we reveal anything about bhakti like that, you had said in some class that it's bhakti when hidden is when we progress. Is that right?
No, you have to hide certain things. You can't hide everything. You have to hide certain things, but what you hide, those things which are very valuable, you hide. There are certain things which are for common people, for everyone, that you tell. But there are things which you hide. Like, for example, you're wearing kantimala. It's not that let me open my kantimala, let me hide I'm a bhakta, I'm a devotee. You're wearing kantimala. So you're telling people that I am practicing Krishna consciousness. You're putting tilak. It's not that no, let me remove the tilak and hide myself. You're putting the tilak. So you tell certain things, but then the things which are very deep, very valuable, you hide them.
Realizations you shouldn't tell.
You should tell, but tell to the person who is worthy to hear your realization. Not to everyone. Okay. Next topic. We'll read Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Shraddha Purnam. The rareness of pure devotional service. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities, penances, and similar processes for attaining self-realization. However, even if if an executor of these processes is without any material desire, he cannot achieve devotional service. And aspiring by oneself alone to achieve devotional service is also not very hopeful because Krishna does not agree to award devotional service to merely anyone. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in his devotional service. In his devotional, one minute, in his devotional service. Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee and by the mercy of Krishna, and one can achieve the platform of devotional service. There is no other way. The rarity of devotional service is also confirmed in the Tantra Shastra, where Lord Shiva says to Sati, "My dear Sati, if one is very fine philosopher analyzing the different processes of knowledge, he can achieve liberation from the material engagement. But by performance of the ritualistic sacrifices recommended in the Vedas, one can be elevated to the platform of pious activities and thereby enjoy the material comforts of life to the fullest extent. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord, not even if one tries for it by such processes for many, many thousands of births. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj that merely by personal efforts or by the instructions of higher authorities, one can attain to the stage of devotional service. One must become blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who is completely freed from the contamination of material desires. In the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, verse 18, Narad also says, Yudhishthir, my dear king, it is Lord Krishna known as Mukunda, who is the external protector of the Pandavas.
Eternal protector.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Eternal protectors of the Pandavas and the Yadus. He is also your spiritual master, instructor in every respect. He is the only worshipable God for you. He is very dear and affectionate, and He is the director of all your activities, both individual and familial. And what's more, He sometimes carries out your orders as if He were your messenger. My dear King, how very fortunate you are, because for others, all these favors given to you by the Supreme Lord would not even be dreamt of. The purport to this verse is that the Lord easily offers liberation, but he rarely agrees to offer a devotional service, because by devotional service, the Lord himself becomes purchased by the devotee. The happiness of becoming one
Thank
with
you. Thank
Radha.
you. So by devotional service, the Lord becomes purchased by the devotee. Therefore, he really agrees to offer pure devotional service, bhava bhakti, to the to the living entity. He really gives it, right? Okay, any questions?
Hey, you had said chant and go back home, back to Godhead. So we forget about Prema Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and we just chant and go back home. To Godhead.
No, I said that. I was telling that though we hear and it is correct, but it's not that easy that you just chant go Hare Krishna and go back home.
Okay, so it's just a way of telling.
It's just a way of telling. It's just a way of telling. It's just a way of telling. It's not that it's that simple. Um, this is something which, because we are studying, we are discussing. We are not going to discuss this in a class given to a people coming in a pandal program or in the temple on a general day or something like that. The thing is that, you see, getting success in any arena in material world, in a material arena, requires so much of dedication, commitment. You have to give your 100%, your body, your mind, your soul, everything. Then you get that success which has little value. So to get paramount mountain success in Krishna consciousness, the path of Krishna consciousness, which is so vast, which is so expansive, which is so exalted, that requires huge amount of dedication, efforts, endeavor, understanding. So that is to be understood actually. Mhm.
Which means very rarely a soul goes back home, back to Godhead,
Yeah,
because it's rare.
yeah, yeah. Very rarely. It's very rare. Very, very rare. Very rare. Mhm. Very rare. Because it's a very exalted state. Very exalted state. To be an eternal associate of Krishna is such an exalted state. Such an exalted state. When you begin to understand the exaltedness of that state, you will feel, you will feel what? You'll feel disqualified for it. Utterly disqualified. I am not qualified. And who am I? Not qualified for it. Mhm. And then when you feel utterly disqualified for it, then you become qualified for it. Right?
About the last statement, Prabhuji, but we are feeling totally disqualified.
Eh?
I said, I don't know about the last statement that you made just now, that when you feel disqualified, you're qualified. But I think we are all feeling extremely disqualified, and I don't think we qualify.
Yeah, that should be our attitude. That should be our attitude always, not just after listening to the class. Right? That should be our attitude always. That should be our foundational attitude. I am not qualified for it. If you are a devotee, you'll not give up hope. That's a test. That is a test. You utterly understand that you are utterly disqualified for it. You also understand that it may take millions and millions of lifetimes. You also understand that you will have to maybe suffer a lot. I mean, suffer not in material sense, but suffer in general sense a lot before you come there. But if you are a sincere devotee, still you will never give up the path and practice of pure Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji, we will not, because in the beginning you had said that uh, we are not attaining that state of happiness, but it has begun. It has begun. So there's no question of going away unless, of course.
No, what I'm trying to say is that you see, those who are immature, when they will understand all those things, then they will get into confusion. Should I really be a devotee? Or should I compromise my goal? You know, should I then not just become happy the way I am, the way life is? So, the thing is, you need to have the highest aspiration. That's what I'm telling. You have to develop the highest aspiration. But then that highest aspiration should not become very cheap. I should also understand what that highest aspiration is. So that's very important. Very important. Okay. Next.
Prabhu, Prabhu.
Huh?
Thank you so much for opening my eyes.
Next. Moksha Lagutakrit. Moksha Lagutakrit. The happiness of becoming one with the Supreme. Moksha laguta kriti. Moksha laguta krit. So this is at the stage of bhava bhakti. When you feel even liberation is, moksha is also laghu. Laghu means very small, very insignificant. Mhm. Fine. So at that stage of bhakti, even if Krishna will say, suffer, miserably you suffer, get a lot of physical problems, mental anxieties, you know, your life becomes hellish, then also that devotee will say, it's okay, no problem. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm okay because the happiness that I get by your devotional service is so much that I don't care if my life is hellish. It's okay. Hmm. So they don't mind that. Okay, Nagarajan Prabhuji, please read.
So the screen not visible.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna. The happiness of becoming one with the Supreme. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if Brahmananda or the happiness becoming one with the Supreme.
Prabhu, you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
The happiness of becoming one with the Supreme. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if Brahmananda or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme is multiplied 1 trillion fold, it still cannot compare to an atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. In the Hari Bhakti Subodaya, Prahlada Maharaja, while satisfying Lord Narasimhadeva by his prayers, says, my dear Lord of the universe, I am feeling transcendental pleasure in your presence and have become merged in the ocean of happiness. I now consider the happiness of Brahmananda to be no more than the water in the impression left by a calf's hoof in the earth compared to this ocean of bliss. Similarly, it is confirmed in the Bhavartha Deepika, Sridhara Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, my dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are relishing the nectar of the narration of your pastimes, certainly no ecstasies that immediately minimize the value of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, such as transcendental such a transcendental devotee regards any kind of happiness other than devotional service as no better than straw in the street. Attracting Krishna.
Mm,
Hare
Wait,
Krishna.
wait a second, please. So, no better than straw in the street. So, for that devotee, such happiness is insignificant. Does not give a fig for it. Does not get into it. Cannot enjoy it. uh, Cannot relish it. Right? And that is very true. Of course, we are not saying that, this is a good or perfect example, but this is something which is relatable. How? That when you come to Krishna consciousness, then you find it disgusting to sit and watch a I mean a mundane movie. Then it is disgusting. What is there in it? Even if you sit to watch, maybe that day you are in little Maya, let's say you are in Maya. So you sit to watch. So you'll watch for 5 minutes and then you'll be disgusted. Oh, nonsense. Shut it down. I'm not getting any rasa, not getting any taste. Mm, right? So that's what happens in small levels of devotional service. But then as you make progress, then even the thought of becoming free from all material suffering and all that will also become very insignificant. Your mind will not go there. You'll not think about it. Mm. My mind will not go there. It becomes immaterial for you. You hardly care for it. That's at the stage of bhava, which means they have gone beyond the bodily consciousness so much that they don't care of the problems at the bodily level. Mm. Okay, next. What is the next quality or characteristic? Attracting Krishna. Shri Krishna Akarshani. It's a quality of prema bhakti. Now, when one comes at the level of prema, then one attracts Krishna. Krishna gets attracted to that person. Krishna gets attracted to what? Krishna gets attracted to the prema in the heart of that person. Krishna gets attracted to the haladani potency that is manifested in the heart of that person. Mhm. Who is who is prema personification?
Mati Radharani.
Yes. So if prema has come in your heart, that means who has come in your heart?
Srimati Radha.
Srimati Radharani. So when Radharani will come in our heart, then Krishna will get attracted to us. Because he is attracted to Radharani. Madana Mohana Mohini.
Mohini.
Right? Madana Mohana Mohini. So he's attracted to no one other than Radha. He's attracted to no one else. And if he's attracted to someone else, that else is a part of Srimati Radharani, coming from Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Vaishnavas are, or anyone is completely dependent on the mercy of Radharani. Without Radharani's mercy, we cannot get Krishna. Hmm. But then Radharani is not a servant. So we cannot say Radhe Radhe Shamilade. She's not a servant. Hmm. So I don't know. Devotees also, iskcon devotees, they go to Vrindavan and they chant Radhe Radhe Shamilade. You have come to Vrindavan to make the Queen of Vrindavan your servant. So one has to beg from Shri Radharani, give me your mercy. Right? Then Krishna becomes attracted to such a devotee. Krishna gets attracted. And when Krishna becomes attracted, of course, Krishna means the supreme absolute, everything gets attracted. Hmm. 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 Attracting Krishna. Radhika Leela Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Attracting Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated that devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service is the highest degree, in the highest degree is Radharani. Krishna is called Madan Mohana, which means that he is so attractive that he can defeat the attraction of thousands of cupids. But Radharani is still more attractive, for she even attracts Krishna. Therefore, devotees call her Madan Mohan Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. To perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani. And devotees in Vrindavana put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. In other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world. It is directly under the control of Radharani. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the Mahatmas or the great soul are under the protection of Devi Prakriti, the internal energy, Radharani. So, being directly under the control of internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself. This fact is corroborated by Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, verse 20, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, you may know it from me that the attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my devotees is not to be attained even by the performance of mystic yoga, philosophical speculation, ritualistic sacrifices, the study of Vedanta, the practice of severe austerities, or the giving of everything in charity. These are, of course, nice activities, but they are not as attractive to me as the transcendental loving service rendered by my
You
devotees."
see how it is translated. Krishna is saying these are very nice activities. Acha hai, nice, very nice. But it is not attractive to me. I don't get attracted by such things. Very nice. What is very nice? Mystic yoga, ritual, study of Vedanta, a lot of tapasya, being a big charitable personality, doing a lot of jnana, all that. Very nice, very attractive, very nice activity. But I don't get attracted to it. So Krishna has a, Krishna has quite a big expectation, isn't it? In that sense, Krishna cannot get attracted to such things. People of this world, they get attracted to such things. Krishna will not get attracted to such things. Krishna is looking for something else. Then next Prabhupada explains. Please continue.
How Krishna becomes attracted by the devotional service of his devotees is described by Narada in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, verses 48 and 49. There, Narada addresses King Yudhishthir while the king is appreciating the glories of the character of Prahlad Maharaj. A devotee always appreciates the activities of other devotees. Yudhishthir Maharaj was appreciating the qualities of Prahlad. That is one symptom of a pure devotee. A pure devotee never thinks himself great. He always thinks that the other devotees are greater than himself. The king was thinking, Prahlad Maharaj is actually a devotee of the Lord, while I am nothing. And while thinking this, he was addressed by Narada as follows: My dear King Yudhishthira, you, the Pandava brothers, are the only fortunate people in this world. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared on this planet and is presenting himself to you as an ordinary human being. He is always with you in all circumstances. He is living with you and covering himself from the eyes of others. Others cannot understand that he is the Supreme Lord, but he is still living with you as your cousin, as your friend, and even as your messenger. Therefore, you must know that nobody in this world is more fortunate than you. In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna appeared in his universal form, Arjun prayed, My dear Krishna, I thought of you as my cousin brother, and so I have shown this respect to you in so many ways, calling you Krishna or friend. But you are so great that I cannot understand. I could not understand. So that was the position of the Pandavas. Although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the greatest among all greats, he remained with those royal brothers, being attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. That is a proof of how great this process of devotional service is. It can attract even the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts Him. People who are not in devotional service can never understand what great value there is in rendering service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So Bhakti is glorified here in the last paragraph. Prabhupada says God is great, But devotional service or bhakti is greater than God because bhakti attracts God, Krishna, right? And who is the personification of bhakti? That is Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is great, but Radharani is greater than Krishna because Krishna gets attracted to Radha. In that way. In that way, Radharani is greater than Krishna. In Tattva, in Bhagavad Tattva, Krishna is greater than Radha because he's the master and she is the servant. But because the servant attracts the master, in that way, she becomes greater than Krishna because she is attracting Krishna. Hmm. So in that way, bhakti is great or greater than God. That's how it is understood here. So therefore, we should not make offense towards bhakti. Hmm? We should not commit an offense towards bhakti. Commit offense towards bhakti, then bhakti will go away. So how do we commit offense to bhakti?
By taking it for granted.
Yes, by giving it importance less than importance you give to other things. So in that way, we commit offense to bhakti by making other things more important than bhakti. So then you commit offense to bhakti. Hmm. Therefore, for everyone who is practicing bhakti, the highest priority should be always bhakti in all situations of life. Highest priority should be given to bhakti. That way we are respecting bhakti. You have to respect it. You have to learn to respect bhakti. It is something very valuable. I should not disrespect it. I have gotten it by some rare good fortune. Now let me not disrespect it. One should value bhakti. That's very important.
Prabhuji, some of the uh, preachers in ISKCON, when they are singing the Hare Krishna, when they're doing the kirtan, they in the middle or in the end, they end with the Radhe chant. They say Radhe. So is that right?
What do they? What do they say? They say Radhe, 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 Radhe. Like that they chant.
Yeah,
That's what you say.
yeah.
It's okay sometimes, but then the thing is that uh, why they chant it, it has to be understood. It's not that whether it's right or wrong. Why they are chanting Radha's name? It is just a whimsical presentation. Then then it's wrong. If they are really chanting that Radha now out of bhava, then it is fine. But if they are just chanting it because by chanting different names you add flavor to the mantra, right? So then it's really wrong.
And if you're part of such a satsang and where, along with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, either they're ending with that or in between they say Radhe, Radhe. So are we supposed to sing that or we are not supposed? How will we know whether they're chanting with bhav or what is the feeling in their heart?
Yeah, so you are there, you are participating, then what to do? You have to then be with them. So what can be done?
Even here in the
You can't
temple.
avoid it. Yeah, in the temple, but you can't avoid it. But the thing is that, honestly speaking, it is better to avoid by those who are singing. Keep your sentiments, deep sentiments to yourself. Right? You want to chant Radha's name? Go to your room, hide yourself in the room. No one is watching you. Take as many names of Radharani as you want.
But it's okay to sing the Radha Kripa Kataksh
Where?
in the, say, for example, in the temple in Barsana, or
With
maybe
whom? With whom?
alone.
Alone you can sing anything, no problem. Right? Alone you sing anything, there is no issue. That is your personal sentiment. That's okay. We are talking about public performance.
Mhm. So in other words, if you're there, then, and if you feel that it's whimsical, and as you said, such a bhav has to be hidden and not exposed, then it's better not to sing that part.
That's up to you. You want to sing, you don't want to sing, you want to participate in such a kirtan, you don't want to participate. That's up to you. That's your personal choice, right? That is up to you. This is all based on your adhikar, your qualification. There's no like rule for it. It depends on how much you understand Bhakti Tattva, how much you understand the process of pure Krishna consciousness.
After
It's up to
understanding
you.
after this class, one wouldn't feel like.
Well, that's a different thing, but it's like we have to know the things properly, because if you hear Radha Nam from someone's mouth who is not chanting Radha Nam properly, you are doing an offense to Radha Nam.
Better not to
If you
touch that.
hear Hare Krishna from someone's mouth who is not chanting Hare Krishna properly, you are doing offense to Hare Krishna Mahamudra. So we have to hear from the right person. Therefore, those who are very careful about Sangha, they will not go and sit in anyone's kirtan just because someone is chanting Hare Krishna or just someone is doing some kirtan and go and sit and hear. We are not talking about a new sadhaka, a neophyte. We are talking about those who have taken initiation, who are trying to practice very nice Krishna consciousness. We are talking about them. These are not for those people who are new or still, kind of some way practicing Krishna consciousness. I mean, we are not talking about that. We are talking about those who are seriously cultivating and practicing Krishna consciousness. Those who are not in Krishna consciousness just for some kind of fun. But we are talking about those who are practicing Krishna consciousness as a serious sadhana. That person will be very careful which whose kirtan you are attending and how much you are participating in it. Now, are you really absorbing the bhava of the singer, or you are not letting it come in your consciousness? Mm, all those things are very important, very essential.
Actually, sometimes we do for attending Bhagavatam class or attending Kirtan, but it is also being said that we should not discriminate. It is an offense against holy name and Krishna Katha.
What?
Like we are discriminating. Like I want to listen, I want to hear from this particular preacher, and I do not want to hear from this particular preacher. I do not want to participate in the Kirtan of I would say from these side of peoples, and I want to hear kirtan from only from these side of peoples.
So that is to discourage whimsical discrimination. Whimsical discrimination means you are just discriminating based on your like and dislike. Here, it's not the question of like and dislike. Here is the question of purity. Whimsical discrimination means, oh, this devotee speaks with such a sweet voice. I'll hear his class. That is whimsical discrimination. Understanding? Right? That is whimsical discrimination. So that discrimination should not be there. This is my counselor, I'll hear only his classes. But what if your counselor is a Kanishta Bhakta? So that's a whimsical discrimination. So we should not do whimsical discrimination. But we have to discriminate between Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. Who is telling that? Rupa Goswami said. Okay.
One question I have. This shloka
So,
which
for example, you somehow or other end up sitting in a kirtan where a handsome boy with long hairs is nicely playing the mridanga, and he's trying to impress few girls sitting around him, and then he's singing very nicely, very sweetly, taking all those alaps and rag and all that, and there are girls who are sitting around him and they are very nicely also enjoying the kirtan. So if you are serious about kirtans, do pranams, get up from there, and go out. Mm. So now, why you should do that? Because not because this is not something for a neophyte. Sometimes neophyte means who is also like that, like the singer. This is not for that person. This is for someone who is initiated, wants to be a good devotee, serious devotee, who understands the seriousness of Krishna consciousness. So then you get up from there respectfully, and then you go out and do something else, some other bhakti. Okay. Because you are not an Uttama Bhakta who can sit there and not be affected by it. So then you'll have to protect yourself. Okay.
Probably we have to be very, very, very conscious about our association.
Yes, we have to be very conscious about our association.
Hare Krishna
Be
Prabhu.
very particular, very conscious, and that's why your foundational knowledge should be very nice. That's why you should do Bhakti-sastri very nicely. You should understand Bhagavad-gita, Nectar of Devotion, Updeshamrit, Ishopanishad very nicely.
Yes, Prabhuji, you mentioned that bhakti, we should not take a devotional service cheaply, but the thing would we do sometimes we finish our chanting while traveling. We do it like so. It's a kind
That's
of
wrong.
disrespect to
It's
bhakti.
wrong. That is making bhakti very cheap.
The last question. In a last line, Srila Prabhupada mentioned people who are not into devotional service, they can never understand the great value of rendering service to the Lord. But what about like me, who are trying to be in devotional service, but not understanding the value of the service? It's like, what could be the reasons of it that we do not value this
Not
activity?
what could be the reason for it? I don't know. There can be multiple reasons for it. What is the specific reason for it? I don't know. But there can be multiple reasons for it. So one reason for that is not hearing good classes. right? Not hearing good classes, not taking very serious association of Krishna consciousness. So we have to do that. Because when the value of a thing is not presented to us properly, we will begin to devalue it. That's the nature of a conditioned soul. It's very natural. You start devaluing things when you don't understand the proper value of it.
You said we cannot chant while traveling. So if we have an early morning flight,
No,
we
no,
can't.
no. He's telling you're driving also and chanting also.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
Probably, but at the initial stage, what we are being told about bhakti, like it's very easy. You chant and you'll be liberated. You will get Krishna prema. But what we hear from you is a flip side of it, and as it feels like despite being in 4 5 years 6 years, and we are empty hands.
Oh,
But
you are
that's the
only 6 years in Krishna consciousness?
in this life. Prabhuji, I'm trying from last 5 6 years.
Only 6 years?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Then I should not have said such things.
But what you said, Prabhuji, it's logically very right. Something which is very high, nothing beyond that. How can be so cheap?
I mean, why you people feel so depressed? Huh?
No, we are
When
not depressed, Prabhuji. We are not depressed, but actually,
No, no,
reality
Prabhuji,
should be
you
in front
said
of
na,
eyes.
we should have hope and we should have dharya. So that's the reason we keep repeating and attending your classes again and again so that we never lose that.
you said you're practicing Krishna consciousness for 6 years and now you're thinking, oh, no one told us like that before. It is the flip side of that. You know,
It is for like a caution for us. Like we have to be serious. Like for 6 years, okay, but what we are doing is not sufficient. So there has to be some extra endeavor for that.
Prabhu, the aspect of extra endeavor will always be there. Even after you have spent it 50 years in Krishna consciousness, that aspect of extra endeavor will always be there. So let's not go by this, that we did not hear this before. If we heard this before, that would have been better. Or, no, don't go by that. You heard that time what you needed. If you would have heard this before, you would have never taken to Krishna consciousness. At that time, you heard what you needed. Now you are hearing what you need. And after 5 years, you will hear something what you need. Okay. Krishna consciousness is a dynamic process. It's a dynamic process. It's not a stagnant process. So 6 years before someone told you, just do this, it's very easy. Of course, that was needed for you because if someone would have told you it's so difficult, you would not have taken to Krishna consciousness. Right? Understanding? But if you are studying Bhakti-sastri and studying Nectar of Devotion, right? And if I'm doing the seva of teaching it, then I'll tell all these things. Right? Because you're studying Nectar of Devotion, in Bhakti-sastri. You should know these things. You understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And then when I'll be teaching something else, then I'll tell more things. But when time comes. isn't it? When time comes. So then there are more things also to know, learn, understand, think about.
Repetition of these things are required so much for us to. It should be constantly repeated in our mind because otherwise it goes away.
That's why we have to hear it nicely. We have to hear nicely. We have to hear good classes. Get some entertainment through shorts, through reels. That's okay, no problem. Some Krishna consciousness entertainment is also needed. But then also hear good classes, proper classes, where you are reoriented to the proper practice of Krishna consciousness. Right, Prabhu? Yes, so it's Krishna consciousness is easy. It's not difficult. Don't it's not that oh it's so difficult. It's not difficult. It is easy. Compared to other processes, it's very easy. It's not difficult. It's just that it takes time. Takes time. It is easy also, it is blissful also, but it takes time. So don't cheat yourself by listening to people who will say, just do this much and you'll go back to God. Don't cheat yourself. That person tells you like that, you tell that person, maybe you will go, but I'll not go. I need to do more. And what is the problem, no? Let's say you do more and you go back to God it. And someone else does less and goes to God it. Any problem? Will you cry later on in front of Krishna? Krishna, I did so much, you brought me. He did nothing, instead you brought it.
Krishna will never allow us to come in front of him if we have that mentality.
No, no. Will you complain like that? I did so much, he's doing so less. I'm chanting 64, he's chanting 16. I'm also going, he's also going. Why should he go? No, right? Never it will come. Isn't it? Isn't it?
Materially we do it. I don't know
No,
about spiritual platform. Materially
materially
we
you
do it.
do it, but if you go back to God, it will this be in your mind?
No, it should not be.
Should not be, it will not be. Correct? Isn't it?
Yes.
So if you do more, will you be at a loss anyway?
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. The point is that you'll not be at a loss. So why not do more? But then we should do it in a very sensible manner. We should not become crazy. We should not become fanatics. We should not become, offenders or criticizers. We should not hear this in a manner. Now, from today, I'll see anyone doing like this. I'll criticize that person. I'll tell that person, you are a neophyte. We heard in the class, you should not hear such kirtans. You should not sit for such classes. You should not hear this. You should not do that. No, this is not for you to tell others. Huh? This is for you. This
Yes,
is for you. This is not for others.
correct.
Right? You want to tell others, you just tell them do Bhakti-sastri with simple.
Yes.
That's all you tell. You don't tell others these things. You just tell that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, again start the batch again after NOD, Nectar of Devotion, again start the next batch. We all will join again.
So you don't tell people these things. This is for your bhajan. This is not for you to tell others. Right? Don't do that mistake. Don't go and tell publicly, this is what I heard. I'll practice. No, this is for you. Others are sitting in such a kirtan, let them sit. No problem. You should not have any problem. Okay?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
this is not for like, oh, I heard such a nice thing in the class. Now I'll go and tell everyone. Oh, you all are stupid devotees. You don't know anything. I know everything. You should
Prabhuji,
not hear
I'll
such
be
things. And,
ostracized if I talk like that.
huh?
I said I'll be ostracized if I talk like that. There's no way. This is only meant for personal consumption.
Yeah, so it's not for telling people, it's for you to understand. When they will become qualified to understand such things, someone will tell them also, right? They are at their level of Krishna consciousness, so that's why they are doing what is good for them. Okay, fine. Ashok and Asia Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Coming back from all this discussion, this is about shloka, 6 unique characteristics of pure bhakti. The fifth number is Sandra Nanda Visheshatma. The exact worldly meaning is manifest condensed bliss. I want to know what does this slightly if you explain. And secondly, the chapter which we have read, Prabhupada, is there any reference of Sandrananda Visheshatma in this chapter? Or it
Yeah,
has been
it is there, but it is indirect. Prabhupada has not
indirectly?
explicitly mentioned it.
Okay. And what does it mean exactly? Because 3 words are there. It means manifest condensed bliss. So just explain little.
Sandrananda Vishesh Atma means that Sandrananda means condensed. Sandrananda means Sandra Ananda means condensed happiness. So you see, it's a way of telling the amount of happiness. The happiness is in a condensed form. Now anything in a condensed form becomes more relishable. You are understanding? Like I'll give you an example. Very nice example has come to my mind. Have you taken milk? Milk? Have you consumed milk? Yeah.
Yes.
Is milk sweet?
Yes.
Okay, very good. If you put sugar in the milk, is it sweet?
Will not taste that much, but it remains sweet. Yes.
Right.
We may
Have
not
you
relish
tasted
the taste.
condensed milk?
Yes. Only a
How
couple of
sweet
times.
it is?
It
How
is
sweet
very,
it
very
is?
sweet.
Very, very sweet, right? That's why it's called condensed. So Sandrananda Vishesh Atma means happiness becomes very, very condensed. That means it's the highest level of happiness. Sandrananda Vishesha.
But Prabhuji, that condensed milk, if we have to enjoy, we cannot take in that condensed form. We will not relish it. So something
No,
has to be
no,
mixed with that. So how we relate to
no,
this?
no, no, no. Why condensed milk you cannot relish? I think you have not consumed condensed milk. Hmm?
I'm not much, yes.
Not much, then you don't know. You don't understand the example,
Yes.
right?
You're
How,
right, Prabhuji.
you have eaten condensed milk, you get a dabba, a can in the market
Yes,
of
small
condensed milk.
can. It
Yeah.
is for mixing when something else is to be
No,
made.
why you just take a spoon, put in the condensed milk and eat it.
Okay.
Then you'll know how tasty it is.
Means you get more value in smaller quantity. So quantity is small, but
Prabhu,
value is
don't
more.
Prabhu, don't try to understand it by jnana. You buy condensed milk from the market today, take a spoon, put into the condensed milk and eat it. Then
No,
you'll
no.
understand.
Even
And
spiritually, what do we mean? That when we take something in the condensed form, it has got more value for us. It may be spiritual value.
it is the experience of it.
Okay.
Happiness is something which you experience.
Yes.
So it is the experience of it. Condensed milk means the experience of that sweetness of condensed form in the milk. You get an experience of it. So that's why it's called Sandra Nanda Vishesh Atma. That happiness is so condensed. It's a way of expressing your experience.
Means
How much
you will really relish that happiness, or you will be
right?
happy.
you'll be super happy. Sandrananda Vishesha. I'm telling you, if you have not tasted condensed milk, go to the market, buy a can of condensed milk.
I have brought many times, but they use it either in making halwa or kheer. My wife uses, but
So
I have
that
not
get,
tasted that. A
so I'm saying go and
spoon
test
of
it.
condensed milk, I have not tasted.
You taste it, then you'll know what it means. As soon as you put in the mouth, you're like, wow, it is so sweet, it is so nice. You get that feeling, especially when it is sweet and it is cold. You take it from the fridge and then you just put a spoon of condensed milk in your mouth. It's so sweet.
So how do we understand that with pure devotional service, we will get condensed bliss? That is what Prabhupada in this shloka, it is desired, no? When you do pure devotional service, then you will...
Then you are at the level of prema bhakti. That is for prema bhakti.
Yes, yes.
Right? After bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Then sandrananda visheshatma, condensed happiness.
And what does the word Visheshatma mean, Prabhuji?
Sandrananda vishesha. Vishesha means special.
And Atma here refers to soul, Vishesh Atma, special soul.
Self. Sandrananda vishesha atma. So it is a very special condensed happiness experienced by the soul. Sandrananda vishesha atma.
Or Vishesh Atma means a special soul who is at the Bhava Bhakti level.
No, it's not like
No,
that.
not that. Okay. If condensed bliss, we are asked to explain in one sentence. How do we explain that? I in fact wanted to know that. Somebody asks to explain condensed bliss in one sentence. How do we explain that?
Who will ask?
For my understanding, because I am also not able to understand. So I thought if we discuss shloka somewhere, somebody asks, what is this condensed bliss? I should be able to tell.
She is a bliss that is condensed.
Okay, we'll take it like that. Thanks.
I'll take it like that.
Okay, okay.
Simple.
Yes, I agree.
Someone asks what is condensed bliss, you say bliss that is condensed.
Yes.
And probably attach an analogy of condensed milk, and we can ask that devotee, you bring that condensed milk, we will taste it together.
You will taste it. Then you get some experience of it, what is condensed.
Prabhuji, the way you've discussed condensed milk today, I don't know about the others, but I am definitely going to get a dabba and taste it today.
Yeah, you should get. Offer it to Krishna. Let Krishna also enjoy condensed milk. And then, you take one spoon. Don't eat too much because it's very sweet, no? So if you are having diabetes or if you don't eat too much sweet, not good. But if you have never tasted condensed milk, go to the market, buy a can of condensed milk, offer it to Krishna, put it in the fridge, make it very cold, nice cold, and then take a spoon, dip into it, and plunge that spoon right into your mouth. And then you savor it. Then you'll understand how sweet, how nice it is. It is
And
more tasty than even ice cream. But because it is so sweet, you can't eat much. Right?
Too durlabha for the taste.
It's very sweet. You can't eat much. As a child, I ate once the full can of this book. So I can tell how sweet it is. It's nice, very nice. Okay. See you tomorrow. We'll start with the chapter 2, which talks about sadhana bhakti in detail. Starts from chapter 2.